Hello everyone, I'm Danilo Kasemi, project manager of Moveo and Landmark, one of the leading companies in the ICT market in Albania and in Kosovo. And today I would like to speak more about something that we that work in this industry are used to work every day, the data. And I want to talk better about how this data flow in the Web3. We have heard a lot of humors, conspiracy, criticism, etc., a lot of things. Bitcoin is a scam and such things. But it's normal. We're used to them, and it's normal because usually the big things and new things come always through big criticism. I want to explain in simple words what does it mean, Web3. So without going too much technical, Web3 is the next major phase in the evolution of Internet. We have seen three phases up to now: Web 1, Web 2, and we are seeing now the Web 3. We have seen also the transition from Web 1 to Web 2, but we haven't heard so much noise regarding the transition, as we are hearing now through the transition from the Web 2 to the Web 3. Why is this happening? This is happening because of the new vision that the Web 3 has, and which is having a decentralized ecosystem. What do I mean by this? If we try to see what was Web 2, with Web 2 we saw the rise of the giants, media giants, banking services, and other services which makes our life easier. For example, we saw Twitter, we saw Facebook, we saw Instagram, which what do in the end? They take our data for free and provide their service to us. So in fact, we are not taking this service so much free. We're paying for it, but not with money, but with our data, with our control. So if we try to make a comparison how Twitter would look in Web 2, how it is in Web 2, and how it will look in the Web 3. So now Twitter can control our data, can remove our account, can remove our posts, etc. And we have seen this in a lot of cases. In the Web 3, this is impossible. Twitter is decentralized. You cannot do anything. If we see the payment services, which are now controlled by entities like banks, for example, not only banks, but also other entities, the payments are very controlled by these entities. So they can be rejected, they can be approved, the transaction can be followed by the legal entities, etc. All these things cannot happen in Web 3. Even the payments cannot be traceable. Of course, this leads to other problems which we will discuss later. So, if we see all of them, from Web 1, which was also this one a decentralized but a little bit static protocol, to the Web 2, when we saw that the platforms were centralized. So in front of them is a Twitter, is a Facebook, and these giants that control all of our data. Going to the Web 3, when no one controls it. It is controlled by user, it is maintained by user, and everything has the power to the user. It's not the power to the platforms that have developed it. So by decentralization, in fact, we mean the user ownership. And this way, we move from data monarchy to data democracy. Because what happens? The user and the user ownership means that every decision that is going to be made in the network is going through a voting process. So the user can vote to take or not to take a decision for the whole network. And making the user like a stakeholder, for example. Of course, this, as I said even before, this leads to other problems, in which we're going to see it later. But let's see a little bit how it affects the market. So, there's going to be a very much growth and need for the data scientists. In fact, it has started. The market needs a lot of data scientists. This happens because, look, now we're not going to give our data for free. We're going to sell this data to the companies. The companies going to buy this data, are going to hire other data scientists in order to improve their learning models, and so they can sell this to the businesses and as they have their business plan. And has it any problem at the end? Of course, a lot. Let's check them one by one. First of all, if we see an example, which I think most of you maybe know this, is Bitcoin. About 2% of accounts control 95% of the Bitcoin, of the network. What does it mean? We said that the user can make decision through a voting system. And with this, we understand that the decisions are again made by the 2%, not by all the users, because if 2% have the majority, it is over. So this breaks the idea of the decentralization, one of the biggest issues. Another thing, which is also a great problem, is as we said about the payments, for example, and the money flow, the transaction cannot be traced from the legal entities, from the governments, from the banks, etc. What does this lead into? This leads into money laundering, fraud, and a lot of other crimes. Terror funding, cybercrime, etc. We have heard about this too. But we cannot stop improving technology. We cannot be afraid of technology. And as Robert Schuller states, problems are not stop signs. There are guidelines. So, are there solutions to all of this? Of course. And that's what we need to do, to find the solutions to this problem, not to remove now the future of technology. Which are the regulations. When the ecosystem was created, the legal entities, the governments, were unprepared. So they didn't know how to manage it. Now, if we see the map of the countries which have taken regulation, are a lot of countries. And this means now that the countries are adopting the technology and the ecosystem through the regulations. Of course, it needs still more time. And another solution is stability. What do you mean? Do we mean with stability? The overall ecosystem, the platforms that maintain this ecosystem are so new. And when the technology is so new, it needs time to get mature. If we make a comparison, for example, it's not an exact comparison, but let's take the technologies, because Node.js is not the same as Ethereum. But we know that Node.js, for example, which is traditional programming, has been in market for 13 years, while Ethereum, 7 years. And if we see in the other hand, the AVS infrastructure, comparing to another infrastructure which is decentralized, which is IFS, it has 15 years AVS and only 5 years IFS. So it needs time to get mature. The conclusion and the solution to the problems that we have until now, because with the improvement of the technology, we are sure that we're going to have other issues and other problems to solve. But we know now that if we try to take regulations with legal entities, with governments, and we give the time the technology to get mature, we're going to solve the issues we have now with the new Web 3. So, just to close it in a funny way, hope nothing will happen with this. Thank you. If you have any question, feel free to make. Any question? Thank you.